It's Friday night, and you know what that means. We get very, 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 very surly JR because he's up way past his bedtime, and the Grand Wizard himself, the Insurrection God himself, Chris Jericho Aniston on commentary, less than 24 hours before AEW Full Gear. Boy, it's a good thing this is only an hour-long show, even though there were a couple decent moments. Let's get to it, shall we? I'm John Reitman with my review of AEW Rampage, and yes, AEW Full Gear is less than 24 hours away. Check out my predictions, let me know if you're going to be ordering Full Gear in the comments, please. And they tried with this show. It wasn't awful, but it was also hard to care about some of it because no matter whether it's live, whether it's tape, real, or Memorex, Rampage almost just feels like a dead program. I mean, even with the livelier crowd reactions, because we're live this week, pal, JR just extra surly. Have JR do the occasional match that he could call, give him something to sink his teeth into, and stop having Jericho on commentary, putting political differences, whatever, aside. Jericho adds nothing to commentary now. The initial part of the pandemic, sure. And when Excalibur is a little more dialed down, actually Excalibur is not that bad on commentary. Overall, sometimes he yells a little bit too much, but you know what? I've gone on and on about the commentary. Starks and Archer, Starkcher as it were, they start in the back because that's where this thing started. That's where this match is going to start. They start in the back, blah, 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 blah. And of course, a New Jersey's Devil jersey gets a big pop from the New Jersey crowd as Ricky Starks, that is getting a big old reaction. And Lance Archer, I like Lance Archer. Talented guy, big, impressive, still able to move so goddamn well despite the fact that he's in his mid-40s and has had serious back surgery. They go through the crowd. Nearly 10 minutes later, finally the bell rings as they get in the ring. And there's usual, seriously, this match, I think half of it, at least over half of it, all the action was before the bell. And it's an AEW World Title Eliminator, I believe, quarterfinal match. Yeah, because the winner of this faces off against Brian Cage on the 0 hour buy-in thing, whatever the hell it is. And since I already did my predictions before, obviously, this show, excuse me for not having the clairvoyance to realize they'd had more pre-show matches. So the crowd was into Ricky. Lance did his usual stuff. Ricky kept fighting back. And eventually, yep, of course it ends via roll-up. Of course it does. And then Cage comes to confront. Archer does his shit because Archer has to maintain a semblance of, being the murder hawk monster, as it were. And Ricky Starks seems like an underdog going into the 0 hour buy-in to face another big monster. Jericho and Sammy, possible tension? Who cares? Hook took on Lee Moriarty. Hooker Marty. Hooker Marty. That sounds like what people would call Michael J. Fox's mother from Back to the Future. I don't know how that works. That doesn't really work all that well. Hooker Fly. You know what? Let's just move on from this. Lee Moriarty is impressive. Seen him live. Guy can work. And this wasn't a bad match. Hook got the victory, though. Even though he sold quite a bit, Stokely adds nothing. Absolutely nothing. He is a good talker, but this whole firm thing is not good. And eventually, Red Rum wins it. Fine match for what it is. Get Hook some real competition. So, Jose, the assistant, and Rush are talking to Ten and Silver. Are we going to have a match? Possibly, but Ten says, you know what? I don't want any part of this, and walks away. Maybe they're finally realizing that while I get why they've had Dark Order together for a while, the time has come to just end it. I'm not saying get rid of people, but there's no reason to keep the group going. Half of the members are gone. A couple of the members have gone to other people, like, Anna Jay, being part of the Jazz Society. And Athena has an assistant, apparently, to take her new with wings, thing, the thing that does the falling goddess thing, folds back in like it's Skynet. Athena took on Madison Rayne. Whew! Oof! So, good job, by the way, on botching the timing of the pre-tape on a live show because they had to cut off the pre-tape because the match had started. This is an alleged mainstream wrestling promotion. They can't get that shit right. And I know WWE screws up shit and they will continue to screw up shit, but god damn it, get better technical people. Get people that aren't like a bunch of chimps trying to type shit, in a goddamn room. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. Athena is a heel. Sure, that can work. The crowd didn't really give a shit. They tried to cheer for Athena. And she went with an overhead stunner, a fisting from the front instead of a fisting from behind. And then eventually I don't know, some weird code breaker variation, 1, 2, 3. Then she was beating up Madison, and then she attacked Aubrey, and that gave me flashbacks to when the Lucha Bros did a spot at Defiant Northwest Wrestling show, easy for me to say, where they did a spot where Phoenix kicked Aubrey, and they didn't think that they were going to get nearly as much hate as they did from 500 people in a little fucking rec center. Oh boy, we wanted blood. We were ready for blood. You don't hurt our Aubrey. Aubrey Edwards, one of my favorite referees going today. And then here's Mercedes. She's back. Mercedes versus Athena. Maybe they'll add that to the buy-in, or maybe they'll save it for TV, and they'll maybe not make the buy-in so full, and the pay-per-view 18 hours long. So, the best friends and the factory are backstage. There's going to be a match at the pay-per-view, 5-on-5. Wait, there's only 3. Here's Rocky. Oh, hi, Rocky. We didn't see you there, evidently. Here's a VHS tape. Wait, watch the spoopy tape instead. Why is there a VHS tape? Why are the best friends still a thing? Why is any of this happening? And I like Rocky. Why is the factory a thing? I don't get any of this stuff. I don't get why anybody would care. Danhausen throws teeth on a goddamn table and has a nail and is putting film together. Evidently, he learned from the projectionist in Pearl, but took the inspiration of the violence from Pearl. If you haven't seen Pearl, watch X, watch Pearl. What are you doing? Why haven't you done it already? God damn it, go watch that and go support more A24 films. So yeah, Danhausen is a heel. Great. Okay, good. Whatever. The House of Black, they're back, being refreshed, I guess. I hope that they're all in the right headspace in all seriousness, but why am I supposed to care? It's just another faction I don't really care about. Ortiz and Kingston took on Jun Akiyama and Takeshita. Now I always screw up that name. Look, Takeshita gets a pop. A lot of people didn't really sell much of anything. Takeshita can work. Akiyama is revered in Japanese wrestling. Started in 1998. He's 53 years old. Can still take a beating. But I imagine this was a thrill for Kingston. Ortiz took the pin. Not a bad match. It's just, I don't know if this is a match you would use to sell people on a pay-per-view when I don't think any of these guys are going to be on the pay-per-view. Unless they suddenly add a couple more people and they make this an 8-man on the pre-show. I don't know. I mean, they don't seem to care about Rampage, so why should we? And I mean the company. I don't mean the wrestlers. Bit weird this. Anyway, Full Gear's tomorrow. My review should be up sometime Sunday afternoon. No, morning probably, because it's probably going to go a while. Agree, disagree what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.